Hey everybody, Jeremy, looking to do our week 4 discussion, and I just want to apologize for the last part of last week. I'm telling you, I had the worst week ever. I got rear-ended, totaled my car, lightning struck the power lines near my house, so, A, I had a fire, and B, luckily we didn't lose anything except the air conditioner, and then power was out for like 31 hours and then off and on again until they got all the lines replaced. It's been, oh yeah, one of the classes that I'm teaching this fall got canceled. And to answer a question, I think this came in email, I do plan on being much more formal in presentations and papers. Philosophically, I feel like the discussion board is the classroom, and even if we were all very well read and we had done all the work leading up to coming to class and being in person with one another, it's still just a more informal setting in my head. Now if I'm wrong, please correct me. Okay, so let's look at the our first bit of reading, which was the Exploit of Product Life Cycle by Theodore Levitt, and yes, by the way, I do have a bunch of notes, several pages of notes. And so I think this is a really good truth that, just because he said it in 1965 doesn't mean that it's not true in 2020. A lot of time has gone by, but some things are just true, right? Life cycles are life cycles, and this is one of those things that's just true. So in stage 1 in market development, this is when something is first coming to market, there's a low demand, and it's still being fleshed out technologically, right? So the product that I'm going to follow for this is the electric car, right? Because before I started doing a lot of research over the last several days, I thought this was a relatively new item to come to market. Now, I knew that like in the 70s, obviously in the 60s, the lunar lander is an electric vehicle. I knew that it existed, but I didn't think that it got popular until the last several years, mostly due to Tesla and, having a longer, boy was I wrong, let me tell you. So I found out that the history of the electric car, they started producing these things about the middle of the 1800s, right after the Civil, or right after the Civil War, was whenever electric vehicles started coming out. And early in the 1900s, most automobiles were steam powered, and then behind that were electric powered, and then way at the bottom were petroleum driven engines. But think about the petroleum driven engines at the time, right? They were really loud. They were really expensive for parts, right? And you had to be pretty strong to start them. They had a crank in the front. You had to get it going with, and then run around the side, and make sure everything was out of gear, and chalk the tires. It was just a big production. So with the invention of the electric starter, and in 1912, and in 1916, with the federal government getting involved with road maintenance and paving stuff, that would go for a bunch more years. You see the decline of the then electric vehicle, but we'll talk about that more in stage 4. So stage 2 then would be market growth, and this is when demand will accelerate and the total market expands. We talk about taking off, right? This is whenever a product starts taking off. So now, thinking about the electric car in the modern sense, right? And we can see that in 2016, more than 750 vehicles were registered as being electric. 750,000. Is that what I said? 750,000, which is still only 1.1% of the market share, right? So just over 1% in 2016. 2018, Sales increase for electric vehicles by 81%, mostly due to Tesla. So we're definitely in that part of stage 2 with this incarnation of the electric car. The technology is there, the infrastructure is there. We're seeing places to charge the vehicles all over. So then we move into stage 3, which is market maturity. And demand levels off, but still grows. Now, I kind of want you to think about, or what I was thinking about, was the auto industry is always growing, but it's changing, right? Just like the music industry hasn't gone away, but it's seen several incarnations. In my lifetime, I remember vinyl, being able to buy vinyl in the store, new, 8-tracks, tape players, CDs, MP3 players, and now I think all the music's on the internet. It's usually downloaded from some site to your phone. So the music industry hasn't gone away, and the automobile industry won't go away, and it's still growing. I remember whenever our family only had one car, and that wasn't unnormal. My grandparents only had one vehicle. Forever. They never got two. And now everybody in the house above the age of 17 has their own car. So the auto industry is still growing. People are still buying cars, and so people are buying more cars. It's just changing. Like we saw with CD player, tape cassettes to CD players. We're going to see, I'm predicting, we're going to see a change from gasoline to electric. I'm sure by the time the millennials are in office making decisions that it'll probably be illegal to pollute the environment the way we do with gasoline. That's my prediction. And then finally, stage 4 is market decline. And this is where the product loses its appeal, sales start drifting downward, and this is what I think with gasoline-driven vehicles, what we're going to start seeing soon. But the automobile industry is still going to grow, right? And whenever I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about transportation, like the decline between the book or the article mentions there's no more need for whips, like for buggies, because you don't have horse and carriage anymore. Which is funny because I live in the Shenandoah Valley, and we definitely do have horse and carriages and blacksmiths and a very strong Mennonite population. They come clip-clopping by the house, 2 or 3 times a day. But anyway, for the most part, automobiles replace the horse and buggy. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great week. I look forward to your feedback.